And we welcome you back to ESPN's continuing coverage of the Lumber Liquidators Shark Championship. We continue our top 50 greatest bowlers in PBA history. We begin this week at number 8 with the late, great Don Johnson.
Don Johnson, Rob, is probably best known for leaving a solid 10 in the 1970 Tournament of Champions for 299. Who can forget Don laying face down on the approach in that historic moment? At number 7, Norm Duke. You know, Rob, they say dynamite comes in small packages. They were describing Duke, the only player in tour history to win 3 consecutive majors. He will go into the Hall of Fame in January.
At number 6, Mike Albee captured 8 major titles, which ranks tied for second all-time. The PBA Player of the Year in both 85 and 10 years later in 1995. At number 5, Mark Roth. From 1977 to 1979, in the 66 weeks that he bowled for the title 33 times, winning 22 of them. More on him in a moment.
Number 4, PDW. The fiery eyes and the high backswing are the trademarks of this Hall of Famer. Arguably the best physical game the sport has ever seen. He's second in career earnings at over $3 million.
Now here's Bo Burton with more on the man who captured multiple titles in 6 different seasons.
Known to many as the father of bowling's power game, Mark Roth lands in the countdown at number 5. His hard-cranking style revolutionized the game and led the right-hander to 34 career titles, good for 3rd all-time. Roth is a 4-time PBA Player of the Year and led the tour an average 6 times. He earned both of his majors in 1984, when he finished first with the U.S. Open and the Touring Players Championship. The Hall of Famer is also one of just 3 players who convert the 7-10 split on TV.
I think we can say at this point.
Rob, Mark Roth's dominance out here back in the 70s and early 80s was sick. We used to have a saying, if you need one person to throw a shot for $1 million, it would be Mark Roth.
How about sick? Norm Duke, the way he's been rolling in majors. He goes for 4 straight majors when we head to Vegas a little bit later in the season, and we get set now for the men's portion of the show. Take a look at our stepladder bracket. 3 lefties, Allen, Bone, and Page. We begin with the 4 versus 3 seed matchup. Patrick Allen taking on Parker Bone III. And just before we get to that match, we are joined live in the booth by Mark Roth, who is granted a commissioner's exemption this week and bowls here, living upstate New York right now in the Syracuse area, getting out of Clearwater. I told you, I'm not so sure about that move, my friend, particularly this time of the year.
I grew up in New York State, so, you know, it's just to snow a little bit.
What are you up to these days?
Just practicing, getting ready for TC in Vegas in January. You know, just still love to bowl, still love to compete, and love to win one more.
Parker Bone III will start us off here as we begin the men's tournament.
Nice shot there, and you've seen Parker do that over the years, Mark. But,
yes, I have.
you know, I think that a lot of people remember Mark Roth as being, first of all, probably the first dominant power player to ever come out on tour. How were you able to do what you did back then?
Well, when I first came out, I couldn't make a spare. And I could throw strikes, and so I went home and learned how to make spares. Just throw it straight and hard, and continued to practice and practice. And, you know, the center I grew up in was 4 different sides, so every section, every 14 lanes was different. So every day I bowl an hour on each side, and you could play different shots, anywhere from the gutter to 4th hour and deeper.
Take a look at the big picture of match number 1, and Mark, you were such a dominating force in the 70s. Will bowling, will the PBA ever see someone like you again come along and just completely dominate the way things were with you?
I don't know, but right now Wes is doing a hell of a job doing that, and it's tough right now with the equipment and different lane conditions. They change so quickly. You have to make the right jump, right ball. You know, Wes has got a great shot at it right now, I think.
Mark, you were obviously, your power was very well known, but when you watch the younger players of today, the young power players, who impresses you the most out here?
There's a lot of them. Wes is pretty Barnes, Chris Barnes. The guys making the show today, you know, they made it 2-3 weeks in a row, and they're great bowlers, and I've known Parker for a long time, and he can make shots when he has to. They all do.
Mark, you checked in at number 5 in the top 50 all-time greatest bowlers list. You can probably do some math and figure out who the final 3 are. We don't know that order yet, but Dick Weber, Walter Ray Williams Jr., and Earl Anthony, their names haven't been called yet, so you know they're going to be there. Who's number 1 in your mind?
I'd go with Earl. I've watched Earl win from the 4th, 5th arrow on the left when no other lefty cashed. He's just great. That was great to bowl against him, too. I had 2 wins against him in Vegas, so Earl was one of my favorites to bowl.
And you remember those wins?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. They were great moments.
Parker in the second, gets them all to drop, and Mark, we want to thank you, and glad you were out here in the lanes. Glad you're out here with us on Sunday, and hopefully we'll see you further along. I know we'll see you in Vegas for the celebration.
Hopefully I'll be on the lanes instead of sitting up here with you guys.
It's a better place on so many levels.
Yes, it is.
Mark, thanks for your time. Happy holidays.
Thanks,
you too,
Mark.
Guys.
Honor. Thanks.
Thanks.
So here's Parker Bone, all strikes, as he begins the 3rd. An opening 3-bagger as he nonchalantly strolls back to his seat.
Parker Bone III saying, you know what, it's okay to be lucky. Let me turn a double into a 3-bagger. Oh, my.
That smirk is wonderful. So Patrick Allen, strike, spare, down 20, his attempt in the 3rd. Second consecutive show for Allen. Last year he made 4 in a row, and that 4-in-a-row run began right here in Baltimore. Again, Patrick Allen, the defending champ here in Baltimore. He told us yesterday that's one of the goals. You know, I want to defend. I've never done that before. That's his nickname. Patrick Allen has a horrible set of nicknames, if you ask me. Slick Mop, Moppers, it's Hoss. That's his nickname, Hoss.
Okay, I'm with you.
I mean, he uses the word Hoss more than he uses a pronunciation. Great start for Parker Bone III, and you know he knows a little something about this bowling center.
That little piece of paper is better known as my hieroglyphics, or my cheat sheet, if you want to say. It gives me little notes in every bowling center that we go to, lane to lane. This week we're bowling in a 40-lane bowling center, and it's literally equivalent to, I'll say, 18 holes of golf. Every single lane has its own characteristic. Then if there's something that I pick up, I put it on my note, and it helps me later on in the event most of the time.
Looks like a physics test gone bad when you look at that sheet, but it's like having your own local caddy.
Yeah, it looks like my daughter Savannah's math homework. But you're right, and you know, a lot of players do that. I know that Walter Ray does a lot of that. Some guys it works real well for. I don't think the great Mark Roth ever did that. He was just that good, man.
It's all in his head.
He just kept it in the computer. Right now, Parker Bone III looking to avoid an open frame.
Picks up the washout.
And that's what really separates Hall of Fame champions from players that wish they were there, and that's the ability to overcome adversity from throwing a bad shot to converting a washout to maintain his lead. Picture perfect.
This is a good match, folks, through 4.5. Parker sits down. Patrick Allen steps up. PA Hoss